This sacred geometry meditation is designed to bring harmony not only within you, but also into your relationships. As you focus on each visual pattern and immerse yourself fully, feel the energy of balance, understanding, and love flow through you, gently healing, connecting, and relaxing your heart and mind.
The universe speaks in patterns. Every star, every ocean wave, every heartbeat follows a hidden rhythm. And within that rhythm lies a sacred design, an ancient intelligence that connects all things. You are part of that design. Every thought, every emotion, every relationship in your life is shaped by unseen geometry, patterns of energy that mirror the great harmony of existence. In this sacred space, we explore not symbols drawn by hand, but living patterns that breathe through you, around you, and between every soul you have ever met. The journey begins with understanding that nothing in life is random. Every encounter, every bond, every joy, and every heartbreak is part of a divine equation that brings you closer to balance. As you listen, let the words guide your awareness toward the symmetry of your own being, the harmony that has always been there, waiting to be remembered. Sacred geometry is not just art. It is the language of creation. It is how the infinite expresses itself through form, through proportion, through rhythm. It is how love, understanding, and connection find their shape in the physical world. Imagine the pattern of a circle, endless, whole, and perfect. It represents unity. Everything begins and ends in the same infinite loop. In relationships, this circle lives as understanding, the realization that what you give always returns. The more love you offer, the more the universe reflects it back to you. In the silent order of geometry, balance is the foundation. And where there is balance, harmony naturally grows. Think of the triangle, 3 points that form stability. Every relationship is a triangle between you, the other, and a divine space that connects you both. When this space is respected, love flows freely. When one side weakens through doubt, fear, or neglect, the balance trembles, but the triangle never collapses. It simply asks to be realigned. As you continue to listen, imagine your relationships not as separate stories, but as sacred patterns, energy moving through divine geometry, weaving lessons and growth into every interaction. You are both the creator and the creation of these patterns. When two souls meet, their energies intertwine like spirals, each orbiting the other, creating a new field of vibration. If the movement is guided by harmony, it becomes music. If driven by resistance, it becomes noise. The purpose of meditation on sacred geometry is not to erase difference, but to tune every vibration into the same frequency of love and peace. Listen to the rhythm of your own existence. There is a pulse beneath your awareness, steady, ancient, constant. This is the universal heartbeat, the geometry of life itself. Every time you think of someone with compassion, the pattern brightens. Every time you hold on to resentment, the geometry distorts. Your emotions are not invisible. They shape the grid of energy that defines your relationships. Now allow yourself to feel how the energy of sacred geometry gently restores alignment.
Imagine the circles, the triangles, the spirals, all merging within you, forming the flower of life, that timeless symbol of interconnectedness. Every petal of that pattern represents an aspect of your life: love, trust, communication, forgiveness, joy. And at the very center, you find stillness, the point from which all balance radiates. That center is you, not the version of you shaped by fears or expectations, but the pure essence of awareness, born of light and harmony. When this essence awakens, it begins to radiate outward, reshaping the world around you. Your relationships begin to reflect your inner alignment. Conversations become softer, understanding deepens, love becomes effortless again, not because it is given, but because it is remembered. The sacred geometry of love is eternal. Every bond you create in truth becomes part of the cosmic lattice, a web of radiant energy connecting souls across time and space. Even when distance or silence separate two hearts, the geometry remains intact. It simply waits for harmony to return. Imagine now that you are surrounded by luminous patterns, circles of light interlocking, expanding, breathing with your energy. Each shape represents a connection in your life: family, friends, partners, mentors, and even those who have challenged you. All are woven into your sacred design. No encounter is meaningless. Each has a role in your spiritual architecture. The sacred patterns begin to rotate slowly, each one aligning itself with your inner calm. The energy between you and the world grows clearer, smoother, more loving. This is the geometry of peace, when you no longer resist what is, but see perfection in the unfolding of every moment. In the geometry of creation, opposites are not enemies. Light and shadow, love and pain, giving and receiving, they are reflections of the same universal truth. They complete each other, just as lines and curves complete a perfect form. If you look deeply enough, you'll see that even the challenges in your relationships were never punishments. They were teachers, helping you find where balance was missing, where your own geometry had forgotten its symmetry. Through awareness, those lessons transform into wisdom, and wisdom becomes compassion, the highest form of love. The ancient mystics believed that sacred geometry is the handwriting of the divine. Every spiral of a seashell, every orbit of a planet, every heartbeat follows this code. So too do your emotions, your connections, and your healing. Let yourself sense that divine order unfolding gently in your life. Where there was confusion, clarity begins to emerge. Where there was tension, softness returns. You do not need to force harmony. You only need to remember that it already exists. It has always been written in your design. When you honor your own geometry, you naturally honor the geometry of others. You stop trying to fix or control them and begin to understand them as reflections of your own growth. Each person you meet holds a mirror to a part of your energy, some bright, some shadowed, but all essential. When you accept both light and darkness, the reflection becomes whole again. This acceptance is the true essence of divine love. It is not about perfection, but about resonance, the ability to stay in harmony even when forms change. Just like the sacred shapes, love does not depend on condition. It simply exists, radiating balance in all directions. In sacred geometry, every point is connected. There are no isolated moments, no random crossings. Every relationship you've ever had is connected by invisible lines of light. They form the grand pattern of your soul's journey. Beautiful, complex, and always evolving. When you begin to see this, judgment fades, resentment dissolves. You start to recognize that even the people who seemed to challenge your peace were part of your spiritual geometry, helping you refine your pattern toward higher awareness. And as your awareness expands, something remarkable happens. Your relationships begin to reflect your inner transformation. People respond differently. Conversations open with warmth. Understanding deepens. Love becomes effortless again, not because it is given, but because it is remembered. The sacred geometry of love is eternal. Every bond you create in truth becomes part of the cosmic lattice, a web of radiant energy connecting souls across time and space. Even when distance or silence separate two hearts, the geometry remains intact. It simply waits for harmony to return.
Beyond the visible world, patterns of light weave in silence, creating forms, frequencies, and feelings that ripple across existence. What begins as thought becomes vibration. What becomes vibration shapes reality. And within this sacred rhythm, every act of love, forgiveness, or kindness draws a new line in the geometry of your soul. In this moment, you are standing within the eternal design, the sacred grid of light that holds all creation. Every connection, every memory, every word ever spoken between souls lives here, etched in the geometry of time. As awareness expands, the light of understanding begins to flow through you, illuminating the sacred truth. All relationships are mirrors of energy, and energy itself is the blueprint of divine intelligence. Look within your memories, not as stories of the past, but as geometric imprints, lessons of balance and reflection. Some patterns shine with harmony, others twist with tension, yet both are part of the same cosmic order. Even imbalance has purpose, for it teaches the importance of alignment. Forgiveness in sacred geometry is not forgetting, it is rebalancing. When you forgive, the distorted shapes within your energy field begin to smooth, align, and glow once more. The harsh angles of anger soften into gentle curves of understanding. The broken lines of resentment reconnect to the circle of unity. Forgiveness redraws the architecture of peace. As the energy shifts, you realize that the people who caused pain were never outside of you. They were part of your geometry, messengers of awareness helping you restore divine proportion within yourself. When you release blame, you return to symmetry. When you choose understanding, you return to flow. And when you choose love, you return to truth. Love, the purest form of geometry, exists beyond possession or expectation. It is a frequency, the same one that guides galaxies and breathes life into every form. It is the spiral that expands endlessly, never breaking, always growing. This spiral, known by the ancients as the golden ratio, lives in every part of creation. It appears in seashells, sunflowers, and even in the rhythm of your heartbeat. It is the divine code of expansion. It teaches that love, when expressed in its purest form,
never diminishes, it multiplies infinitely. When you love without condition, you align with that golden spiral. Your relationships begin to reflect its perfection. They breathe, evolve, and expand naturally. They no longer bind, they liberate. They no longer drain, they replenish, because they flow with the geometry of the universe itself. Now, sense this energy radiating gently from within you, the same energy that formed the stars. You are not separate from the cosmos. You are its continuation in conscious form. The same intelligence that designed the orbit of planets also designs the orbits of your relationships. Every person who enters your life does so with sacred timing. They are drawn to your vibration, your geometry, your frequency. And when lessons are complete, their orbit naturally shifts, sometimes closer, sometimes farther. But the connection remains eternal in the grid of energy that binds all souls. There is a symbol known as the Merkaba, two interlocking tetrahedrons spinning in opposite directions, representing balance between body and spirit, masculine and feminine, giving and receiving. When your energy resonates in harmony, your Merkaba activates. It becomes a vehicle of light,